What's up, Broncos country? Trace Moustakis filling in for Matthew Peterson today, but you can call me Moose. Now, on today's episode of the Broncos Breakdown, we have to talk about some major rumors surrounding this guy right here, Mr. Tyreek Hill, who has been sparking major speculation about trades, how he wants out of South Beach, and where he's going to end up if he does get traded at all. So that's going to be broken down, like I said, on today's episode. But before we get into it, help us get at least 275 likes. We've had it on 7 straight videos. That is awesome. So make sure you smash that thumbs up button. It helps us bring more Broncos content your way every single day here on Chat Sports. So let's dive right into it, shall we? This is what Tyreek Hill, Mr. Cheetah, put on his X account. Just deuces. Now, there's a lot of speculation as to what this could possibly mean. A lot of people were like, it's a peace sign. A lot of people were saying, he's saying so long to South Beach. I tend to agree with the latter, but he's also been a little bit more active in the more recent days. This was one of the accounts that came out and said, hey, what would it look like if Tyreek Hill were traded, or could he be traded? And he was all smiles. And then another one from NFL Rumors, which I'll be the first to admit, not necessarily the greatest source, but this one said Tyreek Hill would be okay with going to a playoff contender, and he said, LOL, another false narrative. Now, I took this to mean that Tyreek Hill's open to play for absolutely anybody, right? I don't necessarily think he's squashing rumors to, hey, I want to play for one particular team, I want to play for a Super Bowl contender. I think Tyreek's going to go where the money is right and where he is needed. Now, here is what one reporter said about Tyreek Hill and this move to the Broncos if it were to happen. After clinching a playoff spot for the first time since the 2015 season, the Denver Broncos could rise to contending status by acquiring Tyreek Hill. If Denver wants to compete with the Chiefs for the number 1 spot in the division moving forward, acquiring a speedy option such as Hill to take the top off of opposing defenses would help. That is 100% correct. In fact, that's probably one of the things the Broncos need most right now, besides a running back and another tight end. I mean, Cortland Sutton is a great player, but he's no Tyreek Hill. And this is Tyreek Hill last season, and this was a down year. Now, remember, Tua was injured for a multitude of games. I think he missed 5 or 6 games, so that's obviously going to affect your number 1 wide receiver. But we're talking about a guy who the last couple of seasons in 2022 and 2023 was putting up Hall of Fame numbers. Back-to-back 1,700-yard seasons, and then last year with the 900. And again, that's a down season for him. And if we take a look at what the Broncos wide receiver room looks like right now, it's missing a Tyreek Hill. Guy's lightning fast, one of the fastest players the NFL has ever seen. He's great in open space, and with yards after the catch, forget about it. And with the current production that these wide receivers are giving you, I don't think there's any room for debate that, yes, a player of Tyreek Hill's caliber is 100% needed. You've got Cortland Sutton, and then there's a massive drop-off. So having a pair of Sutton and Tyreek Hill would do wonders for this team. Now, again, does the money add up? Because Tyreek Hill is currently on a $30 million per year average. So you're looking at another 3 years, $90 million for a guy who came off of one of his worst seasons in the last 3 or 4 years. But with that being said, you could again make the argument that his quarterback play has been up and down, has been like a roller coaster. But Broncos country, I'm going to ask you this. Do you want to trade for Tyreek Hill? Type T for trade, type P for pass. I'm going to go out on a limb. Because this draft class is so weak in the wide receiver position, I'm going to go out and say trade. Now, what does that necessarily look like? Again, that remains to be seen. But with that being said, if you were able to find the right trade package and the right price for a guy like Tyreek Hill, maybe a first-round pick, that's probably what the Dolphins would want. Could you part ways with it? Who knows? But with that being said, I'm open to any possibilities. Now coming up here, a little Cortland Sutton extension update. I'm not going to lie. I think this needs to get done sooner rather than later. But Sean Payton talked a little bit about this, and unfortunately, there's no real timeline. Here's what he had to say. Exactly that. There is no timeline. I'm excited that he'll be there whenever we get going, meaning he's going to be there for mandatory minicamp and things like that, the off-season programs, and we'll go from there. but I know that there isn't any timeline. So, unfortunately for Broncos fans, an extension does not seem to be happening anytime soon. However, we do know what Courtland Sutton will most likely be asking for, and it's pretty pricey. North of $20 million. Actually, well north of $20 million. Now, Courtland Sutton is one of those players that, to me at least, he's improved the last couple of years. So is he worthy of that next big contract? Absolutely. And we're going to tell you a little bit more about where he falls in terms of salary amongst other wide receivers coming up here in just a second. But first, let me give a big thank you to our friends over at Fanatics. I'm a huge hat guy, and when these came out, I was thrilled to see these Mile High City draft hats come out. And I need to stock up before the 2025 NFL Draft, which is just 3 weeks away. And you can use this link right here in the comments and the description of today's video to start your shopping immediately with Fanatics. And thank you, Fanatics, for sponsoring today's video. So, again, per Mike Kliss, this is well north of $20 million for Courtland Sutton. Now, again, he's improved every single year that he's been there. So, yes, he is deserving of this contract extension. But does he deserve the $20 million or well north of $20 million that he is looking for? Well, let's take a look at what some of the other guys are making, and let's see if he's better than some of these guys that are making some pretty big money. Stefon Diggs, I think Courtland Sutton is better than in this career. And he's making $15.87. So he's already above that $15.87 million. I think he's better than Deebo. What Deebo offers you is not necessarily a true wide receiver. He kind of plays that hybrid back/wide receiver. So to me, if I'm looking at this, better than Christian Kirk, better than Deebo, I don't necessarily know that he's better than Mike Evans or any of the other guys 15 to 19. So I think the perfect number for Courtland Sutton is right at that $20 million per year range. Now, again, the wide receiver market has been reset after we saw that massive contract extension for T. Higgins and Jamar Chase. So is an overpay coming? Maybe, maybe not. But I don't want to pay him over $25 million. So I think he's going to fall right in that $20 to $25 million range. And for his production that he's been giving you over the last couple of seasons, I think that's right in the ballpark of what you're looking at. I mean, passed up 1,000 yards for the first time in his career last season. 90 targets. His targets shot up second time in his career. So you're looking at a guy who is consistently around the 850 to 1,000 yard mark, and he finds the end zone quite a bit. 10 touchdowns in 2023 and 8 touchdowns in 2024. So you're finding a guy that's going to find the end zone. He's going to be right around 1,000 yards per season, give or take. I think that's worthy of $20 million. Now, again, that's not necessarily up to me. That's up to George Paton, Sean Payton, and that whole Broncos front office. But I think, again, a Courtland Sutton extension will be coming. It's just going to be a matter of what that price comes down to. All right, remember, we have hit 275 likes on 7 straight videos, so smash that thumbs up. We have to keep the streak alive, and I know Broncos country is going to show up, especially when Matthew Peterson comes back to host his next video. That's going to do it for me on today's episode. Remember to subscribe. It is completely free. Like the video. Get in the comment section. We are trying to make this the premier destination for all things Broncos here on YouTube. My name is Moose. Until next time, be cool.